Sure, I don't mind going first because I'm looking at your picks here. I mean, I love Brock, but no, that's the story they're telling. It's all Cody, and I know you can't not pick Becky, but that's going to be your downfall this time. This isn't even a match. This Night of Champions. I'm going to walk in with the championship. I'm walking out with the championship. Even if it's a tie, you're too high with that tiebreaker. 23 and a half minutes. No. Come on. Give me my title.
Sure about that? You sure about that? That's why?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Basement Bookers Podcast. And this episode, the exciting follow-up to last weekend's triple threat of shows. Night of Champions, NXT Battlegrounds, and AEW's Double or Nothing. Don't we, Rich?
Absolutely. Big weekend last week, and bad on you, NXT, for putting on the show at the same time as AEW. You threw off my whole week.
Unbelievable.
And as we saw, congratulations are in order. Jer, you are the basement champ once again by guessing a time better than I did. Congratulations.
Thank you, Rich Derez. I realized that Night of Champions that I'm not above having to guess the better time. I'm just like you, Rich Derez. I just want to win.
It was
And if
close.
that, bro, like the official time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the official time? Because I can tell you.
20 minutes and wait, no, sorry. 26 minutes and 25 seconds.
Yeah, when I saw that, I laughed so hard because if you listened to your promo last week, as everybody else did at the beginning of the podcast, like you were so damn sure. And just in the way with that time, really, like, and that's what it was. That like, you were right about the Becky, like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then just like, oh, Cody's got to finish the story, brother.
Yeah, I didn't take into consideration that they'd want to go. They'd want a rubber match between Brock and Cody. I shouldn't have ultimately guessed against Brock. That's what it came down to.
It's one of the old adages. When it counts, you gotta go with Brock, especially when it counts, because then, it's got to be one of those. What do I got to lose? Because the other one picked the same thing. But here, that's where I was like, I don't know, man. After what happened, and I gotta say, now's a great time to go straight into it. So, since the actual graphic is up, we can continue talking about this match. What were your impressions, expectations versus what you got? Are you happy with the result? And what do you think is next for both guys? And we'll go with that format for the rest of the show.
Okay. SummerSlam is my guess. I think they will probably skip Money in the Bank. I feel like Brock Cody 3 is a SummerSlam kind of thing. Maybe they'll do Money in the Bank. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I've been wrong before. So
we've all
we'll
been wrong
see.
before, Rich. There is.
Yeah, it's true. We do a lot of wrong, but we guess a lot of right also. So we'll see when they have the third match, but they're obviously going to have the third match. Cody said it. Cody called him out on Raw this week. So as far as the match itself, obviously it didn't necessarily deliver the result that I predicted. It was probably the result I should have expected given the arm injury they were working, but I thought the match, obviously the match was very good. They put together a good match. I don't know who produced it, and it doesn't matter. I'm not going to look it up. But they told the right story. The arm was the story. Basically, the story, in addition to just the arm being the story, was that Cody's heart is stronger than Cody's body.
Cody Luger with the heart of a Rhodes.
Yes.
Well, I don't know, dude. Look, it's if you have like a decent match for Brock Lesnar, or Brock Lesnar as he's actually called, which is his name. SummerSlam is a great place for him to showcase. I can't think of anyone else for him to go against there. Gunter would be for me a WrestleMania wish list type thing, but I'll take it whenever I can get it. Cody keeps saying these things and is going to get him hurt. I see Brock coming back and costing Cody something, be it a Money in the Bank qualifier. Is he in that? Did they announce that yet? I don't even know. Because I know they've had like Montez Ford and LA Knight duke it out for a spot. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen Cody announced as in a qualifier yet.
Okay.
As of this recording.
Like he might not even be able to because of his arm, right?
Right.
So
it is broken.
So that Money in the Bank wish list of mine might not be coming. Because ideally I would think Cody wins Money in the Bank, and when SmackDown is at the Garden, he and I think like June or July or something, I don't remember what we said, to have him cash in on Roman there. But there's a lot of rumors going on that they're trying to like do this again at WrestleMania 41. Instead, LA Knight being floated as a favorite to win the Money in the Bank with the reactions he's been getting, and I mean, they were booing Montez Ford. So that says a lot.
I think it's early to call LA Knight a favorite to win Money in the Bank without knowing that Cody is not in it yet.
Right. We're about from what I was told on SmackDown, a month and a day. Well, a month from Money in the Bank. Another Saturday, another attack, personally, from the WWE. They've come after the Basement Bookers podcast, knowing full well this Saturday stuff is out of control. But nonetheless, I did enjoy Brock versus Cody. I really don't know what Cody does outside of being in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Let's see what happens there.
Sorry.
At the same time, the whole having a golden ticket, which is what the Money in the Bank ladder match is, doesn't feel Rhodes-like to me. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I agree. It's about working for what you will eventually earn. Taking all the proper steps rather than Money in the Bank, which could be considered a shortcut. Even though the contract itself is earned, unless you're doing it the John Cena way, aka the stupid way, and letting your opponent know a week in advance that you're going to cash in when and where, then it's a shortcut. You're taking advantage of an opponent that is knocked out or has just wrestled a match, which we're going to get to later.
Or is mentally incompetent.
Right.
Which also will factor in later. Or not so much them. They surround themselves with mentally incompetent people. And I'm talking about Smart Mark Sterling, by the way. He's incompetent.
Or at least maybe not so smart.
Yeah. We did mention gold. So I think we should talk about more gold. And that is the inaugural World Heavyweight Champion. Let's use our magical Bookiverse powers and swap on over to Seth Rollins defeating AJ Styles for the Seth Rollins Please Don't Go Championship. So, look, it's one of these. I didn't even think about it as a championship match. I thought of it as, okay, so Seth Rollins and AJ Styles are going to put on a banger of a match, and they're going to hand Seth Rollins his championship.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what happened. I think everybody could be happy with it. If you thought AJ Styles was going to beat Seth Rollins here, you weren't paying attention very well. It's wishful thinking. There's just too much ego involved here. You know, Seth Rollins is Triple H's guy. It's just period. The end. He's NXT grown. It's not where he started, but it's where he was polished. Hey-oh. Okay?
Yeah, 100%. You're right. If you didn't think it was going to be Seth, if you thought AJ was going to win, you have not been paying attention. The whole it ended up being like a 6-part sit-down interview with Seth, right?
Yeah, and barely anything with AJ.
Right. And so there's also the fact of AJ's a SmackDown guy and this is a Raw title.
He would just be on SmackDown. He would just be on Raw. I don't know why that's hard.
Because
he would go where the belt
drafted
goes.
to SmackDown.
I know, but things change.
And the Raw Women's title belongs on Raw, but it's on SmackDown. And vice versa.
I know. You know what? This may not be the first time we've mentioned this.
Right.
But I can see that it no longer bothers you.
No.
It no longer befuddles Rich Derriz.
It no longer befuddles me. It annoys me. It's at that level. We're getting there.
Yeah, you know what? I think you should let it go. Personally, I think because it's driving me crazy.
Just have him swap.
And that strategy, you didn't like that either.
It's still do something. They need to do something.
All right, here's what we'll do. Okay. First of all, I need to make some breaking news here. All right. It's time for Basement Bookers listeners who have deep lore. Rich Derriz and I were supposed to challenge for tag team championships, and that fell through. And I finally was able to find out. That's right. Found out. That's how you do it now. What occurred. And it turns out that because of the fact that both of us have held Basement Championship gold, we can't challenge for any WWE championships.
Okay.
That's the deal we have for being able to have a championship on our show. That's actually recognized. So we don't qualify for those. We're not basically like we've got our own below 205 live. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm sorry, guys, but I will not be the new Universal Heavyweight Champion anytime soon. So, I know you're rooting for me.
You know what that means then?
They can't challenge for the Basement Championship. And we don't have to worry about the Tribal Chief adding the Basement Championship to his collection.
Thankfully. But that means we can challenge for the AEW tag titles.
That's right, because there isn't a Basement Championship AEW division.
Correct. Let's wait until FTR drops them. I like FTR.
Yeah, okay. Listen, you know what? Let's wait. You know, when one half of them is Danhausen, then I think we got a shot. And that's barely a shot.
What if the other half is
out of his
Punk?
mind? I think we can take him.
Depends. Is he jumping over the top rope and breaking his foot again?
Hope not. I don't want that to happen.
Ankle lock.
I'll just double leg him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, bro, I'll double leg him. I'll get his back, bro. He'll go to sleep, you know? He won't even know what happened.
Oh. I heard Kenta. Kenta heard you say that.
Oh my God, dude, I'm on your side. He stole it from you. It's yours. We all know this. It's. I hope you're on the first episode of Collision, and it's you, your fists, your knee, whatever body part you wish to use. Probably knee, because you're gonna be like, this is how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you got to do, you have the blessing of these guys. So this was a great match. As far as the future, for Seth, he's got a match against Damian Priest. He put out an open challenge on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll defend there. It looks like he's just got a thing with Judgment Day. And I think somehow, some way, the streams are going to cross for Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch in this. Becky Lynch, I mean, Rhea at one point watching Becky Lynch on the telly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's in the Judgment Day. Seth Rollins and Becky are married, obviously. So I don't know how else you counter that. But Becky's still with Trish Stratus and Zoe Switch over there. I guess we can go to that match next.
Sure.
Hungry eyes. I wish I knew the rest of the song.
Did you see that one screen cap they got when Becky had Trish up in the corner?
Yeah.
I think the Saudis learned something new about camels that day. Camel anatomy.
Yeah, I got to use all that, don't I? Yep. All right. So, yeah, we can always pickify you. It's fine. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, like we were talking about, this was, of course, the first blow in the match between the two of us. Becky Lynch let me down, but it wasn't really her fault. Well, I guess it is her fault, but Zoe Stark injected herself into the situation. Zoe Stark working with Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch on her third week on the main roster. So kudos to you. Love a good success story. Rich, expectations of the match versus reality of the match. And what do you think is next here?
It pretty much went exactly as I thought it would, except it was Zoe Switch, as you call her, as opposed to Lita, which I think is a big rub for Zoe. And it goes back to what I said when she made her main roster debut, in that she looks really comfortable out there, much more comfortable than some other NXT talent that have come up in the past. So I don't know if it's PC or if it's Zoe specifically that it's a formula for success. That level of comfort in your first time out on the main roster in front of the tens of thousands in attendance and millions watching at home. So that's good on her. That's good on the coaches at the PC. Obviously doing a great job there. Like I said, good match. Other than, if we swap Lita for Zoe Switch, exactly as I expected, and hopefully not a broken nose for Becky. I haven't heard anything yet.
Yeah, I think it's one of those, it looks worse than it is, but good for her that she could use that, I guess. And she's apparently not concerned with that rule about not having your bloody photo on social media.
Right.
So,
what are they going to do?
To which I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's levels to this.
Yeah.
So, let the record show that Rich DeRiz has changed his stance on Zoe Stark. He was not always on board.
Well, I'm still not a fan of the character.
Change.
I'm still not a fan of the character, but I do appreciate how the person portraying the character is handling herself on the main roster so far.
What do you mean? Her character is right there. Just listen to the song. What you see is what you get.
Oh, you're right. You see, I never listened that closely.
Yeah, because it's like, I think it might be the same person that does Shotzi's. Just similar.
Welcome to the ball pit.
Yeah, that voice person. Yeah.
You mean
All right.
vocalist?
Yes. The
That
voice
person with a voice.
That could have been anybody that's not mute.
Right.
Well, in regards to my opinion, what my expectation and reality was, expected it to be what it was, and that's what it was. And I know it must sound like it is what it is because that's kind of what it is, but I don't know how else to perfectly express how I'm feeling right now. I appreciate Trish Stratus wearing the outfit to look like the one she wrestled Lita in her when she was in her prime. This is face mask Trish Stratus. She had that on when she had that. Becky Lynch doing like a little Kill Bill thing again. That was cool. Obviously my expectation was that Becky would win, which is what happened. But I guess if it's progression and I still have Trish Stratus every week on Monday Night Raw, thank you, Trish, and Becky's actually involved in something, then okay, great. That works for me. Let's see where this goes. So, shock of shocks here. Bianca Cena it was not KOD face into the mat. As a matter of fact, of course, this will be my expectations versus what happened and what's next. This way, I could just hand it off this time. It's going to be. I did not expect Bianca to lose. Obviously, nobody here thought that this would happen. The last time we threw a lot in with Asuka, she let us down, and then we decided to flip it. And then what she do? She sat down, flipped it, and reversed it while she worked it. Okay, she worked us, and how she did that? First, the missed. But then Asuka on the outside, out of the view of anything, she does something that I'm not sure has ever happened. She got the mist on her fingers, and then Bianca gets her up for the KOD. While up there, Asuka puts her fingers in the eyes, which I would argue is worse than the mist. Direct contact with the actual liquid as opposed to the mistiness. Not a scientist. So, and when that happened, I tried to get one up for the Basement Bookers podcast reels, but the WWE copyright guy is a DIC Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? So I was, because I'm always on her team, and I was super shocked. What's next? She attacked Asuka from behind after the Grayson Waller effect, hashtag let everybody do a promo on each other, hashtag. Poor Shotzi, the only one who had to talk over her own music, for Lacey Evans in her 126th attempt to just cut her off, and she gets her full thing. Whatever. But sticking to this, Bianca Belair attacks Asuka. We could be getting NXT Bianca Belair coming. There's a backstage interview with her that I didn't see. It was on like a extra or whatever. She was none too pleased. As a matter of fact, so
the claps are back.
Yeah, that's basically a PG version of FAFO. Right. So you see, Asuka's definitely going to have to be worried, but she's still dangerous. She's also got to worry about Io Sky, Asuka. They were really going at each other. Not nice things were said. It's not very PG. Okay. Basically, Io Sky was calling Asuka the B word. And
Asuka was calling her stupid. I remember that. She used that word before.
Yeah. So it's like she's saying the B word and she's saying stupid. I was looking at the qualifiers, right, for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Right.
And it's one of those things where it's not going to go. It's going to go where you think it's going to go. Bailey's opponent is SOL. Okay. Io Sky's opponent is SOL.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they do something where one of them doesn't get their spot because maybe one of them didn't help out in time or something like that. Maybe like between Io and Bailey, because she said no matter what, a member of Damage Control is going to walk out with the WWE Championship,
Mm-hmm.
which could mean anything. What if there's a new Damage Control member among the participants and you find out after?
That would be an interesting swerve. I have the well, not so much the bracket, but I have the list
What
of
they showed on
qualifiers
SmackDown.
here. All right. So according to Wikipedia here, Zelina Vega is already in. We saw that on SmackDown. Qualifying matches to come are Natalya versus Zoe Stark.
Zoe's
Becky Lynch,
in.
yeah. Becky Lynch versus Sonya Deville.
Maybe. Because Chelsea Green, Trish Stratus, Zoe Stark.
Right. Mia Yim versus Bailey.
Bailey.
Yeah. And Shotzi versus Io Sky.
I don't want to say it because we all know it's got to be Io Sky, unless with Bailey and Io, we don't know. Maybe maybe none of them. We don't know, but it doesn't seem likely that they'll keep either of them out of it,
Yeah,
especially Io.
I think the way the storyline is progressing is they're both going to be in the Money in the Bank. Bailey will probably prevent Io from getting the briefcase, and neither of them will end up with it.
What if Io Sky wins and she cashes in on Asuka, or whoever wins the title match that they'll probably have for the Raw Women's Championship on SmackDown?
Like, could they just make the champions exempt from being drafted next time? That would just be easier.
No, sorry. It's got to be everybody or nobody, and then it won't matter in 2 months. So, which, AJ Styles just showing up on Monday Night Raw over there.
Yeah. All right.
You on the Bianca. Now your expectations, what you got, what happened.
So obviously were both of us wrong on this one. I don't recall.
Yes, I mentioned that.
Okay. We were both wrong on this, but I think the outcome was better than we expected. Smart finish. I liked it. Spitting the mist onto her hand and then gouging the eyes to get out of the KOD. And as I've been hoping for, we are seeing some character development from Bianca Belair, which, well documented. I've said she's needed this for a while, so win. Thank you.
It really was a foregone conclusion that we would have a good show and that our man
Gunta.
he did what he said he was going to do. Actually, he did what we said he was going to do. I don't want to put words in his mouth. I guess it's implied. He's going to do those things. He didn't let us down. Expectations is what I got, and what's next? I don't know. Whatever. Maybe Riddle.
Could be. Ali, as we saw, is doing something on NXT now with Joe Gacy, it looks like.
All he did was look at a match and go in there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think he might be staking his claim. He's Wesley is at NXT. He's like a Goku character, and he wants to fight everybody. He wants to test his wrestling against everyone. He wants to defend his championship against everyone. So I think Mustafa Ali over here is gonna do the old Apollo Crews teaching tour over in NXT. So he's gonna wrestle for the North American Championship. Then he's gonna go heel probably, and then go after Carmelo Hayes after Corbin's done doing the honors for Hayes to get Hayes over a little bit more. By the way, I don't like that. This guy went from getting jobbed out by Grimes, which no, it's not. I'm not crapping on him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he got squashed, and then he comes and he sticks the NXT champion. The math doesn't work. You could argue that he did wrestle a match. I believe he wrestled Noam Dar. So that's not exactly, he's not exactly fresh. And Corbin, he may be on a losing streak, but he's not on a sneaking up on people losing streak. He can get you because he did that to Grimes, who was pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why he requested the next time, Corbin's around, he wants a match. To which Pierce told us that Corbin's free agency, he's going to be on NXT. So who knows? We might see Grimes back on NXT after Corbin, but I don't know because Grimes said that he knows Melo's going to handle that. So maybe he knows Melo's going to handle that, but maybe he might help his friend.
Two things after listening to you, and this is not a knock on you or your explanation, but this seems a lot more complicated than it really needs to be.
That was, yeah.
And secondly, Melo doesn't need a rub from Corbin.
I don't think anyone needs a rub from Corbin at this point, ever. I can't speak for everyone.
Melo is understood to be top tier in NXT now. And he has been for a while since he held the North American Championship as long as he did, I feel. I don't think he needs to prove anything.
Maybe they wanted to give him an extra guy to beat. A guy who's wrestled against Seth Rollins. He's wrestled against retired Kurt Angle. A lot of matches that we don't want to remember, but they mean something. Dang it. They happened. They serve a storyline purpose. They have to, or else they stolen time from us. It has to mean something.
Yeah, stolen time. Yes, all these things. Baron Corbin does have all these accolades. They should tell us about him more and remind us, honestly.
He's not even a Baron. He's not an actual Baron. It's his name. It's weird. Yeah. All right, so we'll give this match the same allotted time that it was given on the show proper. It's 69 plus 1 seconds. Rhea Ripley pins Natalya on her birthday. Happy birthday, girl.
It's quite a birthday present getting folded up by Rhea Ripley.
Yep, I'll put that on your wish list there.
March 8th.
Next up. Okay, so for the main event of all evenings, this also was the final blow and taking down the colossal reign that is Rich the Riz as the basement champion. He had a good run, but alas, time ran out. Anyway, we've got ourselves here a tag team match to end all tag team matches. I wouldn't say in the sense of wrestling. I would say yes to both. Expectation. Everyone gets to show up for the match. What I got, everybody showed up for the match. Sami Zayn might as well have been Hulk Hogan out there. He was speaking the language to the people. He looked like a holy man. You know what I mean? Like a man who's had, I gotta say, I was jealous because everything has happened that he's worked hard for. I recommend listening to his After the Bell episode. He says some really wise things that are good for life. and professional wrestling, I think if Sami Zayn he could do a better podcast about the art of wrestling than Colt Cabana.
Hmm.
I think if you get Sami Zayn and Corey Graves, maybe Kevin Owens, but I don't know if he's a podcast guy, and they could just break down the matches and like the psychology and like why this and why that. Sami Zayn, when he's talking about the honorary Uce, it's very good stuff. Because they were talking about how like it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the WWE.
Mhm.
Because you already have Thor and Iron Man, your John Cena's, because this came from a conversation about how, when you get to NXT, they tell you, oh, if you don't want to be the next John Cena, then you don't belong here or some such. But I listened to it, and he was like, when he heard that, he was like, that's crazy. Because I'm not John Cena, which is like a once, in a lifetime. That's not what he said, but what I'm thinking. Then that's it. Nothing else matters. What kind of thinking is that? That's crazy. And I
Mhm.
was like, yeah, because like Graves was saying, it's like you still have Ant-Man. The Avengers are already set, but Ant-Man makes millions of dollars in movies too. You know what I mean? There's other heroes that could just come up. He even refers to Roman Reigns as Thanos.
If I may,
So, yeah.
just because a supporting character may not get to a specific milestone in their career doesn't mean that supporting character isn't necessarily someone's favorite, right?
Well, that's how it is for TV. Most
Mm-hmm.
times, the supporting character, your Kramers, for the olds out there. I don't know who the guy is now, but Kramer, he's the neighbor. He's the wacky neighbor to Jerry Seinfeld's character across the hallway. And he said some crazy stuff in a stand-up thing. He was a really funny guy. A little bit racist,
Mhm.
but he was a funny guy. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I think he's hanging out with Hulk Hogan right now.
brother, there's a big difference. Like Hogan wasn't on stage. Just no.
True.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? That's
Good
like
point. Good
he
point.
had
But that doesn't mean they didn't become buddies afterwards.
he had he had the temerity. That's not the word. I don't know the word. I don't know what it means. Okay. But he was sneaky about it. Like he was
Hmm.
just in a room he thought by himself with somebody. You know what I mean? He was
Hmm.
doing it in the dark. Kramer was out there just like dropping bombs. Like, you
Who's
know
to
what I
say there
mean?
wasn't
Yeah.
some chemical influence?
We don't know, but this is
Right.
about wrestling. So yes, so there's places for that. And I think that's a good thing. I think a lot of people, myself included, you feel like, you know, you're you're in a movie, but it's not your movie. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But you kind of you could make it your movie as good as you want it. I guess. I don't know. I can't talk like a guy who practices what he preaches, but if you're a person that's like, you're not Roman Reigns, man. You're whoever you are. So whatever that is that's in there, that's great. Just like figure that out, which is way easier said than done. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And you go and you could do a Sami Zayn. You could do you could be the first of you kind of thing.
Hmm.
Not everybody could do a jackass match at WrestleMania, and most of the people enjoy it outside of the stodgy old, this ain't wrestling. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
And especially not just anyone can go from WrestleMania 38 versus Johnny Knoxville in whatever the match was. It was a comedy match to the main event of well, he wasn't the main event of WrestleMania this year, but
I
he
mean,
was
he
up there.
was
I don't
the
remember.
tag
I
team
trust you.
match main event at WrestleMania Night One.
You're right. You're right.
What
There
do you
you go.
mean?
There you go. I didn't
There
remember.
was, yeah, well, but he was saying how he's had all these moments.
Mm-hmm.
Royal Rumble, the WrestleMania. There's all these different moments that he's had because of this.
The
So
past 2 years in particular have been spectacular for Sammy.
yes. So great match. For all right, we can't just. This is a long boy,
The
but
storytelling.
yeah, we got to talk about that because I
Mhm.
know this episode's a long boy. I appreciate everybody for sticking around, sticking with us here. But little hack here: if you ever want, you can always speed us up a little bit with the settings and the thing. It actually
Mhm.
works out pretty good. So I don't speed up here, so it's not going to be too fast for you guys. So if you want to okay. So anyway, the match was going fine, or so they thought, because here come the Usos. There was a ref bump, I
Mhm.
believe.
Yep.
Rich, I want to give you the privilege because I feel like you're getting all excited. I've talked so much, and I just need to hear your perspective on this. Okay, this where you lost your championship. It's very important for you to, you know, break down how you felt here, the storyline, what happened with the Usos here, and just how hard it was for us. Just people just don't get it.
I mean, the island is hurting right now. The island is hurting.
I haven't been
So
back, so
it's hurting.
yeah.
I mean, as you could see, still have gorgeous weather, but the inner turmoil on the island. All right. So as far as what happened during the match, the course of events, Sami Zayn dodges a Roman Reigns spear and Roman hits the ref. That's the ref bump. When that happens, the Usos come out and attack Kevin Owens on the outside as he's setting up to put Roman through the announce desk. So obviously, they seemingly had intentions to help Roman and Solo. I fully believe that. From what I've heard here on the island, that is what I believe. Um, they buried Kevin Owens under the announce desk. I used too many days in there. I had to figure that out there. And then they turn their attention to Sammy, who ducks a pair of super kicks, and those super kicks connect with Solo. This is where whatever plan the Usos had, which they obviously did not run by their tribal chief, where that plan gets turned on its head. Roman sees what happens. Maybe he didn't know that Sammy ducked. Maybe all he saw was the pair of super kicks and is like, "What are you doing, guys?"
But
And
he
he
did
gets
tell them not to come,
right.
and they came
Roman's
anyway.
the tribal chief's plan did not include the Usos, which means if you're listening to the tribal chief and you're the Usos, you stay where you are. They didn't do that. So he gets in their faces and snuffs them. First, he shoved Jimmy, then he shoves Jay. This prompts Jimmy to hit Roman, his tribal chief, with a super kick. Jimmy and Jay get into a shouting match because Jay is torn. Jay is loyal to the bloodline, but that's his twin.
He's like, "What are you doing?"
Jimmy tells Jay he's doing what Jay should have done a long time ago and hits another super kick on Roman. These two were obviously
Out of their mind.
intentional.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
I mean, maybe he could have claimed temporary insanity. I don't know. From what we saw on SmackDown, that looks like it is not going to fly.
He seems to have doubled down. If anything,
Yes.
Jimmy has.
Jimmy tells Jay it's just them now. It's just us now, just the Usos. And
Just
they
the two
leave.
of us.
But Jay is reluctant. Jay's like Jay's apologizing to Joe, his tribal chief, by his American name.
American name.
Yeah. Kevin Owens back in the match hits a stunner on Solo. Sammy follows up with a huluva kick to retain. Roman's out on the floor like,
This just happened.
right.
I didn't get what I wanted. You know, for a guy who always gets what he wants, this is not a good thing.
Turmoil. I'm glad they can't hear me right now.
Look, I've spoken to Paul Heyman.
Mm-hmm.
Since I am now a champion, I might be able to come back. I don't know if I want to. Right now I'm on a quest. You know, I gotta find the real basement Jerry, you know, and I don't think I'm ready for that. So me and the championship, we're just gonna stay where we are, and that's that. In regards to this, Friday night, this happened. Okay, so let's set the scene. So the Usos were not supposed to, their travel was to have been canceled. There was a whole thing with him and Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
And Pierce was like, all right. And then he's like, call Roman Reigns. There was other stuff before that, but we're here now.
Mm-hmm.
So as you can see, Jimmy and Jay has just come in. Jimmy in a power position here. I'm not even worried about. Look at my lean. I'm here. And then Jay's like, I'm really nervous here. You know, main event Jay, Oscar Jay over there.
Mm-hmm.
Paul E with the belts. Now, I guess they go to Joe's house. And, you know, we'll talk about the belt afterwards. So let's see if we could play a little bit of this. Please, WWE. We're transforming content here. Now he's locked eyes with the tribal chief. And you can see in the corner, Jay, he's like right straight into it, like laser focused. Like, dude, what? He's invested.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like an eternity. Like, what now? There goes Solo, who's, I don't know. What do you think? It's like, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm just going to watch intently, see how this goes, where I make my move.
Yep.
Jay pacing. People love Jay and Roman. I mean, we the ones, that's them. Just doing this to transform the content here. Please. All right.
Kick him in the face.
So the tribal chief has requested of Jay to kick his twin brother, Jimmy Uso, in the face, live on television.
I'm talking to you, Jay.
Confirmation that he is speaking to Jay
Mm-hmm.
to kick Jimmy in the face.
Kick him in the face.
So after much consternation, the tribal chief gets angry.
Kick him in the face and fix this right now.
The only one that needs fixing
is you.
He went in there with some soul. He was like,
Mm-hmm.
you.
You.
Like he just dropped some truth. You. I'm sorry, but Roman's face.
Mm-hmm. I sense another screen grab.
Yeah, it's like, you didn't say that. Tell me you didn't just say that.
You're going to screen grab it, right?
Yeah. Jimmy, he's like, Jimmy's like, I said what I said.
Mm-hmm.
And Jay's like, shit, he just said what he said. It's gonna be a real issue for us later. See these points, bro? This is what I wanted for you. And you blew it. Like, you should have let, like, nice and tight like that.
So that requires this to actually be longer than the rest, and that gets complicated.
I don't know. I'll talk to them on the island.
Yeah.
Next up here.
Jay can't fix this. I'm the one that kicked you in the face. Remember, the kick heard worldwide. Yeah, that was.
That was me that did that, is what the rest of that is, you know. But guys, look, I apologize. I have to do it this way. This is the best way. Okay. These people are crazy. Okay. And I just want to use this stuff. All right. So he goes on to say, listen, I kicked you in the face. Your issue was with me, basically. Oh my God. Roman, he just got called out.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't been such of a good brother.
Whoa. You know, I wonder if it's like twofold. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's not being a good brother. You know what I mean? Like a good brother.
Well, I wasn't thinking that, but I like that it panned out to show both Roman and their brother.
Who's not being a good brother.
Right.
Actually, two brothers here. Not
What
being
kind
a
of
good
brother manipulates? What kind of brother betrays?
Warner Brothers, probably. They go around. That WB sign just goes around, just baseball bats in both hands, just spinning, just coming at you. They don't care. It doesn't care. It doesn't have any feelings. It's like a Terminator with baseball bats and swirly arms.
You have gone crazy. Crazy.
I think my Chief's gone crazy.
This right here, this my brother. It's embedded in me to protect him. That's my brother. And I'm going to protect you. And I'm telling you, Solo, after he get done using you, he's going to abuse you, manipulate you.
All right. So basically he goes down, you know, he tells them what's going to happen, manipulate you, get rid of you. That's what he does. He did it to Sami Zayn. Well, he doesn't say that, but I say that. Did it to Sami Zayn, to Jay, and now to him, and it could be you. Now, because I forgot to mention in that awesome video package at the beginning of SmackDown, which, by the way, was really good. You should check it out if you didn't. When they get to the segment about the bloodline, Jimmy and Jay, no, there's none of them in there. It's just Solo and Roman.
Interestingly enough,
yeah.
Obviously the Usos were intentionally left out of that. They left Daniel Bryan and they put CM Punk.
That's interesting.
You didn't notice Punk?
I noticed Punk, but I did not notice Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, so they blatantly showed him getting pinned with Edge on top of him when Roman stacked him.
Oh my God. And when they talk about it, they talk about like he just beat Edge.
Yeah, no, Wade Barrett even said Daniel Bryan and Edge.
Oh, nice of Wade Barrett to be like, I don't care what that says. I know what I saw.
Well, they can say Daniel Bryan. They can't say Brander Dander.
Yeah.
All
right, yeah. That's interesting. Good catch.
Thank you.
See what's going on. Let's move up a little bit.
Always do. I'm your brother.
Solo here. He's thinking real hard here. And he's gonna go on their side right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what Roman says, in case we forgot.
You want to know why they're saying Uso? Because of me.
See, Roman taking credit. He's trying to say it's because of him that he made them relevant, that's taking away from their success. That doesn't sound like something a brother would do.
Yeah, if I may, I just want to look over my shoulder here for a second. That's a little egotistical of him. The Usos had their own whole legacy going before the bloodline.
Yeah. I think it's to show where Roman's at mentally and how he perceives himself to be.
Yep.
If that makes any sense.
That's why. I'm the tribal chief around here. Yeah, you see me, the tribal chief.
I can confirm that I do indeed see you by Tribal Chief. I see you. We see you.
That's right. This guy's an imposter. You over
He's an imposter.
here talking for everybody like you the leader here. You over here talking for your brother like you don't have a voice.
I mean, you kind of do that though, don't you? I think that's like, I don't know.
To be fair, we really never heard Solo much before this. We've heard him once on the main roster.
Oh yeah, I got this.
Yeah.
Why don't we just hear from Solo who he's loyal to, huh? Who he runs with around here.
Tell him, Moose. So Roman hands him the microphone. Try to be nice for the audio listeners out there. And then Solo's looking at Roman. Roman's like, yeah, man, he's about to tell you exactly what I said he's going to tell you. Like, watch this, guys. And see? I don't know what am I supposed to do with this? Am I supposed to, do I hit somebody with it?
This is a new tool that I've just been handed. I must figure out how it works.
I must use this. Maybe I can find a mate with it. So Solo's thoughtful. He's thinking. He's like, I don't know. Maybe
consternation on the face.
Yeah.
I acknowledge you, my tribal chief.
That's right, he does. And then look at Jimmy's face. Like, come on, man. I just did the whole. We're brothers. I did the thing. I said. I just did a whole thing, and you're not even listening to me.
You can see the moment where Solo rips his heart in half.
Right there, dude. Like, I just finished. I told you. I did a monologue. Everybody heard it. We just. All right.
But these two right here, they're my brothers.
Okay. So, listen, I don't want anybody to be confused. The tribal chief has not just been made aware of this biological fact. He's in fact known this. I know maybe it might look to you like he looks like, well, I'll be damned. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you do kind of look like Rikishi. You know?
Like, wise man, why did you tell me this before?
This is new. What? So Roman's like, hey, man, come on. Oh, hands him the microphone. Roman's like, this is crazy. Y'all are fooling. Yeah, we're together, Jimmy J say. Jimmy J. Jimmy. Look at this guy in a pink shirt. He's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. The brothers are against the tribal chief. They don't stand a chance here.
He's all in on the bloodline.
Oh my God. That's a great segue for after this. But no, NXT's in the middle.
Sorry.
Hey. So what's it gonna be, Oos?
Look at Jimmy all cocky. He's like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, look at that. It's three of us. One of you. We're gonna fix this together.
Even Jay.
Roman, like, he just starts wiping his eye. It's almost as if he felt that his eye was spitting.
Maybe it was.
Get that? Like, that's the feeling.
You know, sometimes with stress, if your eye starts twitching, maybe that's what happened.
Roman does that, though. Do you notice that? Roman does twitch. Like, he does it.
With respect.
Watch him.
Or you just gonna end up on the island of relevancy as a tribal chief all by yourself.
I have to pause it because I have to, because YouTube's mean to me. I want to use this segment. So now he's looking at the wise man like, you believe that shit? You believe this guy? After all I've done for him? Not like that, though. I'm sorry. I'm not making fun. I'm just saying this. You sure about that?
Shut your mouth.
Oh, he's just snuffed. Tribal chief. See what he does with his nose there? He does that a lot when he's mad. And
it's like
even
a
when he's like
snarl.
stuck in a regular like conversation, like I think it happened with Cena when he's cutting a promo on him. You can see he does stuff with his face. You got to pay attention. You can't be super carding. What a tribal chief. What a tribal chief is on TV. He does things with his face, Rich Torres. With the eyes. Like, I did that.
Jay's worried. You watching Jay?
Yeah, he's freaking out. He's like, are you insane? And then I think it's a holy S ringing out across the thing. Yeah. That's not me.
Okay. Poor Jay. It's just his family is like falling apart around him because of egos.
That's what happens. You know, you have everything together and 1,000 days doing anything in a dominant fashion consistently, albeit with assistance, but even without assistance, you would still, because you're the tribal chief. So
that's right.
It would get to be like even the slightest thing. Jay's trying to be the peacemaker here with family. Okay. You just assaulted the tribal chief. You should have started with what we doing, bro.
Yeah.
You went and got like handsy. All right. If I were to play Chief's advocate, if I were to play Paul Heyman here, they showed up when they weren't supposed to.
Right.
And that's why the tribal chief had to lay down the law at Night of Champions. Okay. That had to be done. Secondly, B, they should have come out with Jimmy should not have gotten physical and expected to just be all good.
Right.
You should have been in there with the intention of, look, we acknowledge you, but you got a problem here. But then Jimmy's getting tired of his family being abused like that. It's supposed to be family. You can't treat family like that. That's the issue here. We're at the inner turmoil. You know, the Sami Zayn thing was the zipper coming down. And then it's slowly unzipping. It's unraveling right now. I'm almost like, I got snuffed, man. I don't know if you did this in front of everybody. So he's like, be our brother. You know, you're part of the team. We used to assemble office furniture together. We used to do that together. Don't you remember that office and the chair and, you know, the wheels? We had to, together, we put them in. Those desks, amazing. F.I. Kia. We bloodline Kia. Yeah. Come on, Oos.
Hashtag bloodline Kia.
Yes.
Let's have respect.
That's what that's interesting there. So Jay's like, Jimmy, let's do things like we've been doing, but less of you being a real not a good guy right now. Not cool. Yeah, we family, right? You know, he's telling them, he's like, listen, we're family.
We're still the ones.
Everyone else is the twos. Roman's wiping his face, more like Joe annoyed at this point. Joe annoyed at these guys. Just like wiping the stupid from his face that was put onto him by Jimmy with that
wiping
shove.
the snuff off.
Yeah, it's almost as a reminder, like, do you know what you just did to me in front of all these people? There's got to be a receipt for that. Although some might argue that this is the receipt, but there's going to be a receipt for that receipt.
Yes.
Roman's mad. He's got his hands on his face, just wiping it, you know. Jimmy, there goes Solo looking on. Come on, right now, he's saying. And Joe's like, I don't know, man. I should just. I'm really Joe annoyed at now. Here we go. We hugging. Yeah. And everybody's like, yes, there's peace. Two of us at home were like, yes, there's peace in the bloodline. I can't believe this has happened. that's still embracing, trying to transform this. Oh, is Jay like, thank God, wise man, thank God.
Yep.
Thank God. Thank God. But then,
Mm-hmm.
and then they slowly move away from the Jay's like, oh my God, what?
His heart dropped.
He's like, yeah, but, and Jay's like, damn it, we were so close. Samoan Joe didn't hear me. Boom! Samoan Spike from, Solo. Jimmy's down. Jay can't believe it. And then, for some reason, Solo went savage for a second. It's like, in case you guys forgot, I'm crazy.
Mhm.
I'm.
Well, he just assaulted his brother.
Yeah, oh my God. And I guess that's what that's for, right? Like a primal thing. It's like, I did what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Rich, it looks to me like this could be heading towards the Bloodline versus Solo Sikoa. I mean, the Usos versus Solo and Roman at Money in the Bank.
Well,
Roman leaves as Solo surveys. So Roman leaves,
mhm.
and he's at the top of the ramp. And what are we going to do? Paul Heyman says. And then Roman says, no, he's like, what about Jay?
Mhm.
Jay will do what he always does. He will fall in line, or Jay will fall in line. He always does, is the exact quote.
Mhm.
So, I don't think he's going to. I think we're going to have this match. Or he does, and this match is to blow off that steam so we could just get back on plan.
So I was interested in what the USA official network named that video, which was Roman Reigns ends the bloodline as we know it, or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So did Roman end the bloodline, or did Jimmy end it?
Well, I think it's meant, as we know it, because we've known it as how it is. Jimmy
Mhm.
J, Solo, Roman together.
Right.
But what happened here, it's no longer the bloodline as we know it,
Mhm.
because there was actual physical altercations between Roman and Jimmy.
Right, but the whole thing was initiated by Jimmy, not by Roman.
It was initiated by Jimmy when he kicked the tribal chief in the face.
Right. So Jimmy ended the bloodline as we know it.
But in here, they might have spoken too far ahead, I think. We don't know what the results of this is yet, right?
Right. There's still a lot of story to tell.
Because Roman didn't accept the apology. That's
Right.
I think that might be their mistake.
Mhm.
Because it did occur technically at Night of Champions, because that's the second time the bloodlines changed
Mhm.
forever. Or third, because a lot of times, because additions and subtractions are technically
Right.
as we know it, because
Yeah.
it's no longer as we know it, because it's
Mhm.
whatever. We all got that, right? Okay, good. Rich, this has been a long boy,
It has been.
and I
I
think
I'm looking forward to the rest of this bloodline storyline. I can't wait to see how it plays out every week. First of all, yes, I acknowledge the tribal chief, and I acknowledge the bloodline as the most compelling storyline in wrestling right now. Period.
I acknowledge that is happening. All those things is the real world of, and it's kind of hard to compete with when you think about it. And we'll get into that. Let's go. This has been a bit of a long boy, Rich Derez.
Yeah.
And now it's time for The NXT Lightning Round. Here we are for the NXT Battleground Lightning Round. Creed Brothers versus Gallus. We were right on this one, weren't we? The Gallus boys still the NXT Tag Team Champions.
Gallus boys on top.
Yes, boys. Dijak versus Dragunov, who definitely looks like Rich Riz when he was a young man. We've established this. There is a photo of you at your high school prom, and we're like, Dragunov or Rich Riz.
Yeah, I
It's a
had the long
compliment to
hair.
both of you.
Thank you.
A compliment to both of you.
Thank you.
It's like young you look like this whatever age this guy is, and managed not to look old, which is crazy.
Good on him too.
So, and good on this match. It was really good.
Yep.
What?
Hard hitting.
Yeah. The thing I'll say about this, I know it's lightning round, but the fact that they were asking Dragunov about like, hey, how was everything with Dijak? How's it feel now? It's like, what all that, wow, where's it all this coming from? It's like, yeah, I don't know. He kidnapped and tortured me. It was on TV.
Mm-hmm.
You all saw it. All right.
Well, to be fair, Ilya showed up at Dijak's precinct or whatever that is. So
he did, but he didn't have to like. I think it's called false imprisonment. I think that's the technical term.
Okay.
Yeah. We lightning round so fast. We went to the next match and didn't go to the next match and went right back. Y'all get to see that because there was too many good points made and we won't be able to make them again. That's just a fact. That's the basement book of fact. No Abdar. I'm starting to think that the racial draft from Dave Chappelle happened and black people drafted Noam Dar. Like he's got the braids, he's got like a crew now, and I always thought like, he's a transformational figure like Cody Rhodes. And here we go. I like his whole thing going. He's got like before I'm like, what is this guy? And it's like, man, I really like his arc in that he has a personality now, which is cool. And we know he's got preferences. I mean, Alicia Fox was name dropped for a reason. So, my man.
And good on him for getting it done all by himself.
All by himself. I watched the match. That's right. I watched the match. We watched the match together. It was fine.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I mean, what could be said about this match that wasn't going to be said? Great. Right guy won. It's nice that he can still be friends with the world's tallest, hairiest midget, the strong boy over there. And
apparently strong boy is BOI.
Yeah. Because that's how I say it. Because when I say it boy, I assume I mean BOI. Strong boy. Anyway, it's still a good way to do it. It's got its own little branding. It's like, all right, great, good job, man. That's way cool. Somebody talk to Braun Breaker. Okay, you got to work on your presentation. Okay, the intensity, the all the things you say that you do that didn't work out this time, but take all of that and you package it up. And I'm telling this guy what to do. Like I'm successful. My favorite thing is when people who aren't successful suggest to these mega meaty men who got there somehow, that we're talking about them. Like, hey, you know what you got to do? Braun, let me talk to you for a second. All right, listen.
Yeah.
I got 20. The Basement Bookers podcast. All right, we don't want to brag. We have 28 subscribers. Okay, and I think we know how to book wrestling and how a character should present themselves. Okay, that's how it sounds. That's how it sounds. I hate when I get aware of myself. It sucks. It's like the game broke, Yeah. But anyway, I'm just saying as a fan and what I like. So I like Broad Breaker. I think Carmelo Hayes is very cool. And I really, I'm still, I'm still weighing in on Corbin, this Corbin thing. I'm leaning towards I don't like it now. I don't, I don't want this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you do this, if he's on an actual winning streak, being a free agent, and then decides he wants to try his luck in NXT, which would have made more sense
Mm-hmm.
because then he's beaten people after you've beaten him and discarded him like a wet Pokemon card. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, that ain't right, you know? Well, this one was not tough to call at all.
Mm-hmm.
Stratton was set for victory from the bell rung. Lyra Valkyria is nursing an injury still. Her knee or something still not great. So
Mm-hmm.
she was already at a disadvantage. Tiffany Stratton with the W. I don't know what's next. What's next is the winner of a battle royal because they did this whole thing where everybody's just there and fights each other. They beat her up though. I'm
Yeah.
very curious as to what their plan is. I feel like if they want to keep her with it, she's going to need a friend or two. You know, I know it's a little cliche, but maybe give her one heater. You know what I mean? Because, or you could just keep her by herself, and she's just really good at cheating.
Character-wise, if anything, Cora Jade would be the one, but I feel like um Cora Jade would be the one to win it off of whoever beats Tiffany Stratton for it eventually.
Yeah, I don't like heels versus heels
Mm-hmm.
when I'd rather it not.
Right.
Um, I'm not asking for Cora Jade to change character. I'm definitely not asking Tiffany Stratton to change character. She still has to like fill this one out.
Mm-hmm.
I think the championship, she's at the point where she's got to ask herself if the championship is making her or if she's going to make the championship. The decision has to be made here. And I think because a lot of the interviews that she does, she wants to be in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
So that means she's serious about getting better, I think. And that can be explored. Rich the Riz is a mind on a neck, on shoulders. He is a big brain boy, spelled BOI, because welcome to the very first ever Double or Nothing of Double or Nothing. And Rich the Riz will explain.
All right. Some matches we're going to talk at a little bit of length out. We'll call those doubles. Some matches we'll mention, say what happened, and move on. We'll call those, no offense, the nothings. This is Double or
Actually,
Nothing on Double or Nothing.
and to help you, Rich, with that, it means not that it was nothing, it's that we have nothing of value to add to it.
Right.
That's what is meant by that.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody gets offended because there's no need to do that. I just did a bit about me advising Broad Breaker. I am very aware of what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So first double will be not the main event, but the second main event, I guess, which is the four pillars each other.
Mm-hmm.
They pillar each other up. Rich, expectations, what you got, what's next?
Met my expectations. We knew it was going to be kind of a banger. We knew there was going to be at least a moment or two. Unfortunately, there were like 3 or 4 moments where it was kind of like a spot fest. The part where they each had a submission on the other one in the little submission square, I could have done without. It's
That's
silly
a little too
because,
human centipede for me, brother.
right. I get what they were going for. It popped the marks. We're marks. I know it didn't pop us. This is kind of the demarcation of it's cool, but it's also not believable. We want to stay on the side of believable, something that would actually happen,
Believable.
right? I like the match. I really liked the symmetry of the finish with MJF winning with a headlock takeover.
And who took the fall? Rich Derez.
This guy, he wants to be the face of AEW. He even wants, I see a headline here, he wants to plant an AEW flag at the top of Mount Everest.
That's right, Rich Derez. He's exactly the guy that we said last week
Mm-hmm.
was gonna take the pin.
Mm-hmm.
We were right about it. So
Darby all in.
yeah, he's all in, all right. All right, cool.
Speaking of all in, congrats to Sammy and Ty on Ty getting pregnant there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I think Sammy Guevara has what it takes to do this, the most important job any man can do. So sometimes they do things in matches that kind of takes me out of it. It's like it's one of those where it's like it's cool to look at when it happens, but then it doesn't make sense in the match.
Mm-hmm.
And that was where they were doing their mentors' finishing moves on each other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it was just to do it. You know what I mean? It didn't feel. You know what you should have done? Let me tell you, as a guy who's never put together a wrestling match outside of the video game, what you should have done, there should have been more blood. There's not enough. Chair shots, and why no tables? Enough table. Why nothing? And why not more over top rope flippy jam? See, like I said, nothing to add to that. You actually kind of nailed it. I'm still not feeling Jungle Boy. I feel like he's not where I thought he would be after the whole Christian Cage thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I think his character hasn't come into his own yet. And what I mean by that is I feel like Jack Perry doesn't necessarily know how to confidently be Jack Perry turned up to 11 so he can be a top level performer in pro wrestling.
He doesn't like talking.
Mm-hmm.
It's documented that he does not like talking.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have to a little to get to that, because I guess I would say 99% of the time it's the talkers that get further in professional wrestling.
I agree. I feel like if you're going to connect without having that talking ability, you have to be no pun intended, you have to be one of the elite with your in-ring skills. Benoit, for me, Malenko. I can't even think of anyone else right now off the top of my head.
Can you imagine
Kurt Angle early on?
Can you imagine if Lance Storm could talk?
Right.
You know what I mean? If Lance Storm could talk, he'd be like, he would have been the man. He would have been like multi-time champion.
The thing is, the way
if he could just talk.
The way Lance Storm talked that was his gimmick.
I know, but it sucked. Like I'm trying to say, if he had like a good, like a superstar, and don't at Lance Storm on me. Like I said, did you see the Carmelo Hayes? I did a thing. We did a bit. So in case it's like, look, what you need to do, you need to do more headlock takeovers. All right. You need to do more of this, the test of strength. I need more test of strength. Okay. And what else? More of this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want some of that. All right, I need more of that. Those things. If you're listening, I was doing the hand raising thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I want. All right, that's what this Mark wants. Never put together a wrestling match, or took in a bump or whatever on
Mhm.
purpose. Uh, we've all taken bumps, fallen on our faces.
Mm-hmm. Have bumps.
Our actual bumps.
Mm.
Double or nothing to add.
Nothing to add.
Good match. All right, next. Oh, let me just say, because
Mhm.
audio, I keep forgetting. So
Right.
we are, of course, referring to the AEW Women's World Championship. We
Right.
knew going in that Jamie Hayter is injured.
Mm-hmm.
So Tony Storm won. There was some stuff before the bell even rang. Hayter's tough, not enough. So hopefully she gets rest, and that was nothing to add. AEW World Tag Team Championship match, double or nothing to add.
Double, because we have your favorite get hit with a guitar.
Rich the Riz, unsurprisingly to everyone, this will be Basement Chair's first as champion match of the weekend. Due to the MVP of this match, put it to you this way, I'm assuming FTR are still the tag team champions. Karen Jarrett taking a guitar to the face, head, and neck of Aubrey Edwards had to be cinema. I felt it in my body. My fingertips, it was electric. The hairs on my forearm were stood up. Not right now though, because I'm nervous and shy. So you see there that was the effect that the match of the weekend, I'm assuming FTR won. So that is my double on that.
Yeah. FTR hit the Shatter Machine to win, by the way. That was the win. I thought you watched.
I did watch, but I'm saying what stood
Oh,
out the most to me.
okay.
You
You're
know, if
saying
you were
you
to forget
assume.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
So
I guess you're not looking at my notes or your notes. You don't have
no.
notes.
Ask me about notes one more time. Ask me about notes. Ask me
Ah,
about notes.
all right. Don't get so lethal, man.
Okay, lethal. All right. Sorry, I get lethal sometimes, guys. I get. All right. Thank you, Jay Lethal, for doing that for us. Anarchy in the arena, double or nothing. I'm assuming this is a double. It's a little
a
too
double.
ridiculous not to get into.
Mm-hmm.
Rich, what had to be? You go ahead. You know what, man? I'm going to let you take lead on this. I feel like the reason for this double or nothing gimmick is so you could get double on this.
Yes. So we have to talk at a little bit of length about Anarchy in the Arena. It had everything we expected. It had things we didn't expect. I did not expect an exploding sneaker. I didn't expect the sneaker to then be ripped off and tossed, and then Matt Jackson to be dropped barefoot first onto thumbtacks. But then again, Mox was involved in the match, so of course there were going to be thumbtacks. We had Don Callis. We had Takeshita's heel turn. What? And after the match, right? BCC won, and then after the match, Don Callis chokes out Kenny Omega with his belt.
That's nuclear heat. They really don't like that guy. He's like the Dominic Mysterio of AEW. There's a few things here. So one of the Young Bucks was fed thumbtacks.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not forget that.
I think was that still Matt or was Matt? That might have been. I mean, yeah, that might have been Nick. I don't remember though.
I don't know, but that reminds me of what excites me the most is that finally, when Fight Forever releases, I can play as Nick Jackson. I can't believe this has happened to me. And it would be great if Basement Bookers at Gmail, if the AEW could just reach out here. I'll gladly do a review on the game. Like I really, I hear it's like a successor to No Mercy, one of the best wrestling games. Period. And
Could have maybe improved the graphics a little bit since then, but whatever.
you know what? I gotta say, with video games these days, if it's good enough, the graphics can be secondary. And
True.
to me, I guess I'll be showing my age. It's a little charming. It feels like it's taken graphics that we had when we were young, and it's like the best they can ever be. You know what I mean? It's like at the apex. Basically, like if you were able to turn up the settings on our game, it's still the same, but everything's like the best it can be. You know what I mean? It's the best version of that. There's no way it's worse than the older stuff. That's not that they have the technology. And from what I'm hearing, it's less like the simulation type games, which is what the 2Ks are. It's maybe it's the old, it's just too complicated. I just want the old buttons. I want the SmackDown versus Raw. I want the Here Comes the Pain buttons, the No Mercy buttons, the fun buttons. But anyway, that's the Double or Nothing on the video game that I want to play. Side of the ridiculousness of the fact that Castagnoli does a pile driver in the back of a truck. I'm sorry, but there's got to be more selling of that. It's a pile driver, not in like the wrestling ring, which still kind of hurts, but that's like the flat bed of a truck. I don't know if they kept him out long enough. They kept him out long enough to put the firework in the boot or whatever to gimmick. I don't know.
I'm on the same page with you. So
I'm surprised they got that shoe back.
Did they?
Because he had it on Dynamite.
Oh, okay.
They showed like a backstage thing because he's like, yeah, as you can see my foot or whatever, my shoe.
Great punt by Claudio, though.
Yeah. Outstandingly.
So obviously, this was put together to be a fun, chaotic match, not your classic, traditional catch as catch can wrestling match. It was fun for what it was, but again, like the purist is like, this isn't real. This is silly. Some of this is silly. So if I just focus on it's Anarchy in the Arena, it's going to be a little silly. Okay. I gotta say, the rolling belly to belly suplexes that Matt Jackson does, more believable going downward on the ramp than on a flat plane like the football field, because he has that leverage. So that's my thought. That's my thought on that. So that gets kind of a plus, especially compared to the previous Anarchy in the Arena matches and the times that he's done that spot. Maybe make it less silly and focus more on the regular non-pyrotechnic violence next time, though.
Can we stop with the music? And
how about that?
Was the band in blackface or Blackpool Combat face?
The band, the front man that ate the super kick had a mask on. It was like a solid mask that was black. At first, I thought the same thing. I'm like, what is happening here? And I feel like the crowd was kind of on the same page because they didn't know how to respond.
Yeah, I just call it Blackpool Combat face. That's it. That'll
work. That'll work. But
I'm not into
Yeah.
the music for the fights though. Like, what are we doing here?
It's a throwback to ECW and New Jack, which Anarchy in the Arena is in that same vein.
Yeah, I guess. I don't want it. New Jack is New Jack. Was New Jack. But he'll
Right.
always be New Jack. So I'm sorry. All right.
I'd say rest in
So,
peace, but he doesn't want peace.
no,
He,
he's
he,
out there performing all sorts of violence
Mhm.
on different kinds of legends and all sorts of gimmick matches because you don't take any real damage. Like right after you get reset,
Yep.
and so you don't feel, so I'm sure there's a lot of guys with their limbs, they had to get reset a lot. A
Mhm.
lot of guys with like cartridges sideways in their anus, from the Nintendo. Even whole Nintendos. Like he's not the guy you want to run into, I'm assuming. So
Right.
anything goes.
Hmm.
All right. So next we've got the International Championship Blackjack Royale, double or nothing. Rich or Riz?
This will be a quick double.
Oh my
Quick,
God, a third thing.
quick double. Quick double. My thing here, again, kind of a spot fest. Bandito, you do not need to be lifting up Brian Cage in the what was it? Gorilla press slam
I
position.
hated that.
Even though you didn't hit it.
Yeah.
All right,
But you
cool,
still got
great,
him up there.
right? But I feel like that this isn't the time or the place or the way to showcase that. Like if you were going to try to throw him over the top rope because that's how you eliminate your opponents, sure, but that wasn't what you tried. Not my thing. We had a bunch of storylines sort of a little bit progressed through this. The Keith Lee and Dustin Rhodes, Swerve and Mogul affiliates, whatever, Mogul Embassy.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it was a way for Orange Cassidy to kind of retain without injuring his hand any further.
Yeah. I didn't like it because I'm not a fan of these things outside of Royal Rumbles.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that Jay White, he couldn't win this, he's just a mid card guy. I thought it was. I'm just saying. I'm not dunking on him. I'm just obviously. I did the bit. Remember the Braun Breaker, and I was
Right.
like, "Oh, look at me giving advice." I don't know anything. I'm just saying, like, you made the deal that was made. It doesn't feel as big to me. I don't feel like he's being booked in a place of strength at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I'm getting at here. I think Brian Cage needs to find Brian Cage because Brian Cage, he's always socketed into a group. It seems now he's with the Embassy / Swerve Enterprises. He was with Team Taz, and it obviously didn't work out on his own. And I don't know what happened there. It's like the momentum didn't come. So there's that. He is huge though. He is an actual strong boy. I thought it'd be neat if Ricky Starks won.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been interesting in that you wouldn't expect it really, because I wasn't expecting him to win it either. Even though when we were discussing it, we said that, and I think accurately, that the four men, Orange Cassidy, Jay White, Juicy Robinson, and Ricky Starks were going to
Mm-hmm.
be focal points for the match.
Right.
We did get this wrong, however.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the Battle Royale format is a great way to get the title off of Orange Cassidy while protecting him, because you could have had a couple people beat
Yeah,
up
and
on him
like
and toss him over.
this is a difficult situation to win from.
Hmm.
This is basically a mini version of Roman Reigns one versus all Royal Rumble,
Yeah.
you know. And Jay White was not even in the final four. The final four was Orange Cassidy, it was Swerve Strickland, it was, I think it's Big Bill. Was he in the final four?
I didn't take note of who was where. I can pull
It's
it up.
okay. And of course, Orange Cassidy.
Right.
Orange Cassidy kicked Swerve's hand off the rope because that's all he had on it, and that was the end of that.
Brian Cage.
Yeah,
I feel like anytime he's mentioned, I have to bring this up. He's 39. If you're going to pull the trigger, pull the trigger. You know what I'm saying? He's not getting any younger. He's not going to get any more agile. Do something,
yeah.
or I don't know. Do something.
It's hard not to take that personally, and you know what? I agree. Sometimes you
Mhm.
need to have that conversation with the friend. You have to let
Mhm.
them know. Yeah. I really thought when he resigned, like there was this whole thing where we weren't even sure if he was going to go back to there.
Well, technically, he signed to Ring of Honor right now.
That's right. He's a champion there or something.
Trios, or the 6-man or 3-man team, whatever they call it.
This is why all the boys, all the belts. I'm sorry, all these belts. It's not good.
Mm-hmm.
At least don't.
Rampage this week had 4 title matches for 3 different promotions. That's all I'm going to say. You can fill in the blanks there.
And those matches did nothing to elevate those championships.
Right.
At least to a casual like me.
Willow Nightingale beat Emi Sakura.
Yeah. That's crazy. I could do without all the crazy spots. If you go over the top rope, you lose. You don't care about winning if you do it all these high rope moves, man.
Mm-hmm.
You got to stay grounded. I need to believe that you want to win this thing, not just to get your S in.
Yeah, for the luchadors, it's kind of just like the only way they know how to wrestle is kind of the gimmick. But
yeah,
right.
It's just not practical for this sort of matchup, is it?
You should have like one luchador, maybe a heel.
I just want to look at Cody while I want Cody to be here when you say these things because he's like, yeah, AEW, right?
Yeah.
He's like, so what do you talk about?
What do you want to talk about?
AEW, right? AEW.
They should have one heel luchador just not ever go to the top rope in one of these matches, and like do the thing anytime he eliminates a luchador that just went over the top rope.
This should be the meme for like Cody taking advice from Marks. Like, yeah, that's adorable. Okay.
That's a screen grab.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. Oh, is that right? Stardust, huh? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I am. My father is Dusty Rhodes, so.
And I ended racism. Did you hear?
Did you hear about it? It was in all the papers. I did it. We overcame because of Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes was the way.
Thank you, Cody and Trish.
Thank you, Cody. You know what? Thank you, Trish and Cody, because Trish goes first.
Okay.
She would say that. And Cody's a gentleman, and he'd be like, ladies first.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Ladies first? That's what I said. I said it. All right. Well, Cody said what he had to say. Yeah, this was a match, right?
Yep.
All right. So
that was on the buy-in.
Yep, on the buy-in. Go ahead, Rich Riz.
This is a nothing to add. Hook and the Hardys won. Hook made Ethan Page tap out with Red Rum after he took a twist of fate from each Hardy.
By hook or by Hardy, this was for sure. And boy, what a time it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was the best of times. It was the party of times. Also, the Hardy of time.
That's nothing to add.
Well, here you go, the winners. Good job, guys.
Yep, as expected.
I want to take the time to shout out a very cantankerous JR. This will be a short little double as he creepily just put on my hair like you can't take your eyes off him, by God. So at some point during the Jericho Adam Cole match,
Baby.
the guy that's not the nipple hard man was thrown into JR's position in the announce desk, knocking over JR's coffee.
Stupid.
Stupid. I'm like, oh my God. And yo, I was all right. Inside baseball for you guys. I was watching, and I gotta say, the best times I had was this man just going off script. Like at one point, I thought he was mad at like a fan behind him
Mm-hmm.
or something. Like he's like, I guess it was Sanjay Dutt that he was actually yelling at, but he was just, he had some moments. Like I forgot which match it was where the fire was there a fire extinguisher used?
There was. I don't
and
remember which
like
match. Was it?
Taz
Rolling
was
Pin?
coughing and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, because it's the second time, according to Tony Schiavone, that they're at ringside.
Yeah.
Because I like, man, this is gonna be hilarious. And boy, was it!
Mhm.
Anytime there was a spot near the announce desk,
Mhm.
you knew about it. All right,
Mhm.
I loved that. More
I
of
feel-
that.
I feel like the smart play is to not have them at ringside again unless JR is not there anymore.
Or coffee sippy cup. Test it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, make sure you have it in the off position. It's locked. It's
Mhm.
locked firmly. It's locked firmly, you know, and you do the do. You know,
Mhm.
that's what I would do. He's been doing this for how long? And he thinks that that's not going to happen. You've been real safe up there, brother.
Mm-hmm.
But you're ringside now.
JR, you've been protected. Been protected for too long.
For too long. But yeah, with him there, no ringside. Because, like, for safety concerns, you know what I mean? Like, this guy's been through enough already. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just had to point that out. So.
I really hope JR enjoys his job, because if he doesn't, like, just stop already.
I think that's why he's there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I hope. Because a JR without the passion is a JR that needs to relax and chill. But it's like, this is all he's known his whole life, you know?
This is a double in every sense of the phrase.
That's right, Rich. This is a double. And because this is a double, this was also double matches. It was double matches. Because Smart Mark Sterling's an idiot. Here's what I meant about surrounding yourself with better people, Jade. Jade, I am telling you, as an expert Basement Bookers podcast co-host, you got to listen to me. These 28 subscribers don't come from nothing. They come from something. You need to ditch Smart Mark Sterling. Okay? We will do the job. Half his salary between the two of us for the first 6 months. And you will want to double that. You're going to want to because of the success. And that's our Garen Gash Dang T. Okay, put that on a t-shirt. So, she took the match. Because their match is about to happen, Rich.
Mm-hmm.
Who but the ghost of Chris Statlander?
who is from Long Island, not a foreign planet anymore.
You know, it could be a Clark Kent situation because he came from Krypton, but in his heart, he's just a foreign boy from Kansas. That's his arc. That's his story. I'm getting sick and tired of people not understanding the best thing about Superman is that he's Clark Kent, a guy from Kansas. He grew up on Earth. He's got Earth values, but he may be from another world, but he's one of us now. You understand? That's the whole thing. Jesus. All right. So I apologize for that. Statlander is from Long Island. That is her Kansas. But this isn't Kansas, is it?
We are not in Kansas.
This is in Vegas. So walk us through this, Rich. How do you feel? Because,
I feel like without any offense to Chris Statlander, I feel like there are maybe other talent that could have been the one to have gotten the win, regardless of the fact that it happened immediately after a match. I felt like Taya Valkyrie was worthy of beating her. Saraya when she came in, Toni Storm. But Chris Statlander has a good following. She's kind of an AEW original, so I get it. Now, as far as what is next for Jade, does she begin a run for the women's world title? I think that's a great choice. 60-1 is still besides being an unnecessary one, it's an impressive, untouchable record. Now, does she get sidetracked and go for the ROH women's title or something else?
No.
I don't know. I hope not, but
I think that
keep her
in
line. Keep her in line.
That does irreparable damage because it'll change how she's seen by the fans. You know what I mean? So
in every way, Jade Cargill made the TBS title. The first to hold it. She went 60-0 with it.
I heard from a guy on Twitter that knew a guy that saw a website and that Statlander being injured is the reason Jade kept the belt as long as she had, because she was going to drop it to Statlander at one point, but Statlander got hurt.
Well, Tony Khan seems to be the type that if you're in line for a title and you're going to get it and then you get hurt along the way, that when you get back, you'll get it. So in a way, I appreciate that from the perspective of an employee, right? Because if you're promised something and something out of your control sidetracks that for a bit, as long as you eventually absolutely will get back onto that track, that if the employer then fulfills their promise, that's good on them. So with that knowledge now, then I think that's even better because going 60-0 is just unprecedented. Not unprecedented with Goldberg, but modern era is impressive as hell. And that is something that Jade will absolutely be able to hang her hat on. And if it was only like 40-0 or 30-0 back however long ago Statlander got hurt, this is good. This is good for Jade. It helped make her a star. She was put in much, much higher profile scenarios so early in her career. Keep in mind, she had her first match on AEW TV, period.
Yes.
So we've literally seen every Jade Cargill match.
Jade has survived Shaq attacks.
She has. She survived the curse of Brandy. I don't know if there's a curse of Brandy, but it sounded good.
The only curse of Brandy I know is alcoholism. I don't know why I did that. All right. Look, I wanted to say something about this, and you took it away from me, which is why you're a good co-host, and I thank you for that, for saying everything. Taya Valkyrie is responsible for this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not without her fault. So maybe she might want to go after Statlander. Maybe she feels that Statlander capitalized off of the hard work she'd done, and she should be next for a title shot.
Mm-hmm.
As for Jade, couple weeks off, come back. Let's start working our way up to the women's championship.
That's the move, I think.
Yep. TNT championship ladder match, double or nothing.
Very brief double. Very brief double. It's actually kind of just like nothing to add, but a little bit to add. Wardlow, you don't need to be jumping off ladders. You're not a Hardy. You're not a Dudley. You're not Christian, thankfully. You don't need to be jumping off a ladder. Period. That's all for my double.
That's actually a really good double.
Thank you.
Because it brings me to the point. Has there ever been a time where it's set up because Christian Cage and the Dinosaur are going to have the advantage because it's a Christian Cage match, and it's a Luchasaurus.
Right.
So not only does he have the numbers advantage, he also has the tactical advantage. Wardlow hasn't done this. Why not have it that the one who doesn't have the experience in this match doesn't wrestle that match? And I'm not saying something dumb like he shouldn't have wrestled. I'm saying he still does Wardlow things. You know what I'm saying? He does, like you said, he doesn't do the ladder stuff. He doesn't do that. He'll use it, but he's not climbing. He's brute forced. He'll put you through a table. He doesn't have to go up there and do things like that. Why not have it where not only did you not have the tactical advantage because he ran right through your match type, not only did you have the numbers advantage, he destroyed your bodyguard. Granted, he had help from a rabid Arn Anderson who forgot the Glock and decided to go rabid. I was supposed to believe he bit off Luchasaurus's finger. I think it'll grow back. He might be one of those more lizardy Luchasauruses, if I had to guess. So, in this voice, I will continue to say that Wardlow should have wrestled Wardlow way straight through. And it would have been like, wow, even with all that, Christian Cage couldn't get the job done on Wardlow. You got to look out for this guy. He dealt with a veteran in his own match type, and he had a tag team partner technically.
That's a great point. I think it would have made Wardlow look even stronger to just stick to his own strengths in Christian's world and still winning.
That's right, Rich Riz. That's right. Those are good doubles there. All right. One fluid motion, just like the rest of them. I don't even know why I said that because it's all been smooth. You don't even know. Chris Jericho, the homicidal, suicidal, genocidal. Maybe doesn't move too well, but who does at that age after all that? He's right there. He's right there. He's right there, pointing up at the former basement champion, Rich Riz, over there. For some reason, his finger has destroyed his green screen. He's fine now. That was funny. Double or nothing, Rich Riz. Double or nothing.
Definite double.
All right. Balls
Not a big double.
Court.
Not a big double. So, number one, AEW. Figure out, is Sabu in Adam Cole's corner? Is he a special enforcer? If he's either of those, shouldn't he be at ringside for the whole damn match? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Second of all, referee stoppage in an unsanctioned match. I
Shame.
think that I think this calls for it. You sure about that?
Sure about that?
Are you sure about that?
You sure about
Yeah,
that?
dude.
I think that's all I got.
It was Aubrey too, right?
I don't recall. I don't think so. I feel like it
Oh,
wasn't. I think it was
okay.
Bryce. It might have been Bryce.
Oh, maybe he should have got hit in the head with a guitar instead.
I won't say no to that.
No. Aubrey's tough. She can handle it. She handled it like a champ. I'm not going to take away
Oh
from
no,
her
Aubrey took it. Yeah,
accomplishment.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm just saying
I'm
Bryce
proud
deserves
of
it.
her. I'm
Mhm.
proud of her, and I think if she wants to, definitely do it again. But that's on her, and it's her
Mhm.
choice.
Mhm.
That's right.
Good on you for acknowledging Aubrey. Being the man, so to speak, for that.
That's right. We all know how tough she is.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd go far to say anything goes. She can handle it. She's proven it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, chair shots, guitar shots, football,
Hmm.
a real Hans Moleman situation there. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying is football in the groin.
Yep.
Because she can handle it. Because she's tough. She's not some basement booker giving advice to Braun Breaker. Remember that? We did that here.
Mm-hmm.
That was in this episode, probably.
So long ago.
Oh my God, it was. All right. So, look, the right guy won, but the big minus comes. Why would you have the mixed tag match after what's supposed to be the blow off to all of this?
That too.
Holy cannoli. I want to forget about it, but I can't. It's like you cut the legs right from under you.
Can someone that knows how to book a wrestling promotion please give Tony Khan some advice here? So, Arn or Show, Mark Henry, Dustin, you've done this for decades. Help him make it make sense.
And I'll go as far to say that Tony Khan has made some good booking decisions.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you what they are. But statistically, probability wise, and what he has a hand in, which I would assume is most of it, he's had some good ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that means something. And to come this far as someone who's had no real experience, that's pretty cool. Basement Bookers at Gmail for the game, Tony. For if you basement bookers at gmail.com and at Rich Derez if you want. He's a guy that he handles all this stuff. So just get us the game, and then who knows? We'll stream the game. We'll stream playing the game against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And now Rich Derez with some quick hits and bits on the Basement Bookers podcast.
All right. So in addition to Ty Conti or Ty Mello or Ty Guevara, Alexa Bliss also announced that she is pregnant this week. Congratulations. Emma revealed on Instagram that she and Riddick Moss are now engaged. Congratulations to them. And in the boo-boo room, Braun Strowman announced on Instagram yesterday that he just went C4 and C5 neck fusion surgery. Typically, the recovery time for this is roughly 6 months. Get well soon. And $1 Million Man, the OG Ted DiBiase, revealed on his podcast this week that doctors say he has, quote, severe brain trauma, which is affecting his short-term memory. Basically, he can remember stuff from like 40, 50 years ago, but he has a hard time remembering things that he just experienced. So it is not Alzheimer's. It is not dementia. They said it's specifically from brain damage. And he even said he didn't even wrestle that long, and he hasn't been wrestling for like 20 years. So that goes to show you how even a short career in wrestling can damage the body. So best wishes to the DiBiase family and their friends and fans.
Yeah, holy S.
And that is all for the news quick hits this week.
Existential crisis. I'm spiraling now after that. All because he kicked the basketball. This karma, man. It was just a show. He probably gave the kid some money. Well, Rich, I think what a long boy. Thanks everybody for really giving any kind of thought and coming here and hanging out here, listening to these two jabronis share their opinion on what happened in some wrestling shows. It means the world. So the link tree's got all the links. If you want to follow on Twitter and stuff, Rich is a good follow. Basement Bookers is there, me, and the channel. You'll find all the stuff. Basement Bookers Pod on Instagram. So look, I'm working on it. All right, I got things. It's just sometimes these they copyright. They don't let me use. I'm not good with that, but we'll figure it out. So help me. I'm drowning.
And Jared's got a party message.
Oh shit. Okay, the match of life is scheduled for one fall, so make it count.
Do what the man says.
Follow the bookers.